So I wanted to get on here and do a video that that's kind of, fresh in my mind, and just kind of talk about, going back to the dating profile and my recent not membership, but just joining Plenty of Fish. I wanted to talk about toxicity in when you set boundaries. It's so crazy, and this is something that I've learned to excuse me, I've learned to deal with, I guess you could say, just in a matter of a couple of days. Like I just started this profile, what was it, Monday or Sunday, something like that. It hasn't been long at all, and it's kind of calmed down a little bit as far as being bombarded with random messages from different people that don't even take the time to read my profile. It's just exhausting. So anyway, there were a couple of people who did read my profile and made comments about some of my standards and my preferences. In particular, there was one today, and I posted on Facebook because I didn't know how to respond to him. And I wonder, when because we're setting boundaries, and that's kind of how you can really weed people out to see how, whether they're interested, whether they respect you, whether they're a narcissist or whatnot. And this particular guy must have read my profile, because the first message that he sent me was in regard to my height, or to his height compared to my height. And on my profile, I've mentioned that, I want to be with somebody who is either as tall or taller than me. I don't want, to be with a shorter guy. It's just not my preference. I want to feel like I just want a shorter or a tall guy, a guy as tall as me. I'm tall. I'm 5'10", and it's hard to find. Of course, I haven't really looked, but it's important to me. I'm 42. I think, even the younger girls, this goes to you guys too. It's okay to set preferences. If there's preferences that you have when it comes to, relationships, and put that out there, like be upfront about it. And that's what I've done. It's like I've set boundaries up front, and these guys just fly off the handle. Like I had one, I had one that totally went off the handle when I wouldn't send him a freaking picture of myself that I already had in my phone. It was probably already uploaded to the website. It's like, dude, just freaking pick a picture, like why I wonder why guys do that. I don't know. Maybe it makes them feel good when you go out of your way to send a picture, even though you have a million pictures online. I mean, how many Katie Bresneys are there out there? I mean, look my name up and download my picture. Like, to me, it's almost like a control thing, like, making them feel some kind of way. I don't know. I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. Like, I don't know. I mean, there's particular pictures that I like, particularly of a recent person that I was seeing, and he knew that I liked his pictures. I mean, which picture was my favorite, because I told him that. And that's okay. If I want that picture of him, I'm going to go on I would, went on his profile or his Facebook and saved his picture in my phone. Or I'll just get on his Facebook page and look at the picture whenever I feel like it. Like, it's just not a big deal for me. It's weird that they, guys would want you to like stop your whole life just to send them a picture that they can already find. So that was that. I don't know why I got off on a tangent there, but so setting boundaries up front, to me, is super important, because it kind of sets the tone for who you're looking for and who, you know, you would even spend your time getting to know. You know, like for me, I'll just put this out there. At one time, you know, I didn't find guys with blonde hair or light colored hair attractive. Like, my personal preference is I like dark hair on a man. And I you know, the eyes, I like brown eyes, I like blue eyes. And I don't like guys who are like really muscular either. I like guys who, you know, are strong and work out, but I'm not a muscular, it's just not a turn on for me for a guy to have a lot of muscle, and that's okay. Some guys may not like big butts, but I got one. Like, I don't know, like, some guys don't like that. Some guys do. It's okay to put that out there. You know, once you know yourself and who you are, and you don't want to just settle, those are important things. Like, if I'm talking to somebody and, you know, they're not piquing my, I use the intellect, they're not piquing me, you know, my interest in different areas, I'm probably going to get bored quite quickly, you know, and that's okay. Some people can only handle small talk, and that's okay. Like, so those are, it's super important to put your standards out there, put your preferences and things that you will and will not tolerate. Like, and I'm a type of person that can look on someone's picture and kind of get a feel for who they are. And I'm not judgy. It's just part of my personality, where I can look at their picture and I can feel how they're feeling through their picture. I know it sounds weird, but it's just, you know, something that I can do. And it's fascinating, you know, and sometimes I'm completely off. You know, I've learned, that's why I'm not much of a constantly texting somebody. To me, and I wanted to say this yesterday in my video, to me, text messaging is for once you already know each other, you've already spent time together, you already kind of know, you know, that person on a deeper level than just getting to know them. I mean, like, because like I said last night, once you, if you're always constantly texting somebody, your mind goes into the type of person that you would perceive them to be through text messaging. And I'm pretty good at kind of feeling somebody through text too. However, it's so much better to meet them in person. That's why it's like, okay, so I met a guy on Plenty of Fish, and he just, you know, I mean, you know, I looked at his profile, I'm like, okay, he's this and that, and these are good qualities that, you know, I'm looking for. And, you know, he's got the basic things like, you know, a decent job. He's, you know, older than me, but anyway, we started talking a little bit, and he didn't like bombard me with text messages and things like that. I just felt like there was a connection there. And then, and I went on a date with him last night. He asked me like within 2 days to go out. And I was like, yeah, sure. I don't understand, you know, why it's hard for guys to ask a woman on a date, because I've learned that it's not okay for a woman to ask a guy on a date, especially the first date. But I'm learning, you know, because I've done that and it didn't work. Because I get to a point where constantly texting, it's not gonna be sufficient, especially when you're just getting to know somebody. And then I have another date planned with somebody else, and we've been talking on back and forth on Plenty of Fish. She asked me for my phone number, and I was like, you know, I better wait a little bit, because I just had to block somebody. I've had to block 2 people so far because of the boundaries that I set up front, and the fact that I wasn't, you know, attentive to sending a freaking picture at 6 o'clock in the morning because I'm trying to go to the gym. I mean, that's just crazy. But I'm glad that I pulled that out of them before I got to meet them, or before I got into the, you know, texting and getting to know them and all that. So, but, so I've been texting back and forth this guy that I'm going on a date with on Friday. And we're, you know, I'm not going to say he's exactly, as far as it, you know, his looks is exactly what I'm most attracted to. I mean, he has blonde hair, you know, but he has a good personality. So there's certain things that are your preferences, but there's certain things that are like deal breaker stuff, like the height. I will be a friend with somebody, you know, I can be close to somebody. I'm at this point where I prefer a taller guy. I don't, you know, I don't think it's fitting for me to date somebody who doesn't at least have a, you know, I mean, I'm not saying make as much as I do. I don't make a whole lot of money, but I make enough to survive for myself and do extra things. But, you know, it's hard out. It's a hard world. So I wouldn't want to, that's not a deal breaker for me, is if somebody makes less money than me. I think that's ridiculous. But somebody who doesn't have a car, that's not going to work for me. I'm not even going to try to reach out to them. First thing I do is when they message me, I never message a guy first. Never. I don't approach men. I don't text them. And I learned that the hard way too. When I was younger. I just don't, and now I just know better. I mean, it's just, I'm old fashioned. I want to, you know, women need to, in my opinion, you know, not ignore a man, of course. I would never do that. But, you know, you don't like purposely not do something. It just has to be part of who you are. And that's just one thing that, you know, part of who I am is to not be pursuant, but to be responsive, if that makes sense. And yes, you know, I like to get a text in the morning. It's just nice, you know. And to me, like going back to what I said earlier, you know, don't spend a whole lot of time trying to get deep in text messaging. Because, you know, people can put on a good facade. Once you've gained that attraction to them through text after a couple days or a week or whatever, you know, that gives them a chance to kind of see how you are too, and things that you like. And, you know, you want them to be themselves. And the best way to do that is to be face to face with them. You know, and people put on a persona online too that might not be entirely true. Like, I met an amazing man a few months back, and he's a great guy. But if you like see him on social media or see him, it's a different, you know, they could be a different person than who you know. So it's important to get to know somebody face to face on a personal level. Anyway, so all right, well, I kind of like deflated just thinking about him. He's a good guy. So it's have a good night.